to Fort Worth. College football celebrating 150 years, and we got a heated rivalry that dates back 120 years as 12th ranked Baylor Bears take on the TCU Horned Frogs. I'm Brian Custer alongside my partner Robert Smith, and Smitty, one of the oldest rivalries here in Texas. And Matt Rule's Baylor squad, one of the biggest surprises in college football in part. They've got one of the most efficient quarterbacks in Charlie Brewer.
Yeah, efficient and poised, especially at the most important part of football games. As a starter here at Baylor, he has led this team to 5 fourth-quarter comeback winning drives. 2 of those have been this year. He has just been a fantastic player, second in career completion percentage. And who's number 1? That man, RG3.
Absolutely. Now, TCU, they've been dealing with some quarterback issues lately. 2 have left the program. Another one's hurt, so they're rolling with the freshman, Max Duggan.
Yeah, and Max Duggan has really done a great job, not just throwing the football, but running the football here over the last few weeks. He's averaged about 90 yards rushing with a rushing touchdown in each of the last 3 games. He has got to take better care of the football, though, as a freshman quarterback. Started off 142 straight passes without throwing an interception. His last 66 pass attempts, 4 interceptions. Got to do a better job with that today.
TCU's dominated this series lately. They've won the last 4 meetings. And these parts, they call this the Revivalry. The kick is next. College football. It is sponsored by Dave and Buster's. Download the new Dave and Buster's Fun app and do it today. Oh, we got some great football weather here in Fort Worth. Brian Custer, Robert Smith. We got Dean Blandino with us as well. Nearly 60 degrees here in Texas as we take a look at the current Big 12 standings. Baylor, the only unbeaten team in the conference. Oklahoma's just a game behind. These 2 programs will fight it out next week. Meanwhile, TCU trying to fight their way to 500 in the Big 12. There's Matt Rule. Matt Rule has done a great job. What he has done with this program and what he's turned it around, 3rd season at Baylor. Signed to an extension that'll keep him in Waco through 2027.
Got a really incredible job. One of only 2 programs since 1937 to go from an 0-8 season to an 8-0 season to start. Just a tremendous job that he's done with this program.
115th meeting between these 2 squads. This is Darwin Baller. And he's dropped just across the 20-yard line. We'll get our first look at Max Duggan. He is 2-4 as a starter. He's thrown for over 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. That's the 2nd most touchdowns by a freshman. He's got 16, just 1 behind Spencer Sanders of Oklahoma State.
And we talked about those interceptions all coming in the last 2 weeks, 3 of them against Oklahoma State. Got to take better care of the football. Going to be interesting to see how they start off with him running the football with that dislocated finger he has.
Well, they're going to start off in the pistol. And it's Duggan who's going to keep it. And he takes a shot as he gets maybe a yard. Jordan Williams makes the stop for Baylor.
This is the way that Sonny Cummey said that he was going to start off. Going pistol. Try and get Max Duggan running. You don't want him to take too many hits like that.
On the run, he throws. It's complete. Pro Wells makes the catch. He stopped at about the 29-yard line. About a yard shy of a first down. And Duggan took another shot.
Took another shot here, and that's clearly what Baylor wants to do today. Want to get some hits on him, and with that dislocated finger, you want to try and get as many hits as you can. Just make him uncomfortable.
You see he's got the tape on that right hand. You can see it there. He dislocated that finger last week against Oklahoma State.
Well, thankfully for quarterbacks, and of course we have some quarterback experts back there in L.A., the middle finger not as important as the index finger for throwing the football.
Olonilua, first down, right up the middle, and he's loose. Olonilua in Baylor territory. Jamison Houston with the stop, but not before a 36-yard run.
And Olonilua is a huge back, but just got right up the middle of that 3-man front for Baylor. He is a heck of a load to
tempo. Duggan steps up, drops it off to Olonilua. And Sewo hit right at the 30-yard line. Give him about 6. As we take a look at the Horned Frogs offense, and listen, their biggest offensive weapon, without question, the junior, Jalen Brewer, leads the team in catches, has a TD catch in 8 of the last 11 games.
When he goes up and he makes some athletic catches, we saw a couple of those against Oklahoma State in that loss. Heck of an athlete, and like most TCU football teams, they are built for speed.
Darius, the Jet Anderson checks in. Play fake to him, throws to the outside, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Rager. And for the Baylor defense, you talked about they line up in that 3-3-5. The biggest defensive threat is up front, James Lynch. The junior, the defensive tackle, 9th in the country in sacks. He's got 8.5 of them. He's just a half sack away from tying the school record for the most sacks in a career.
5 sacks over the last 4 games. 7 total tackles for loss. Remember, this is a team that lost linebacker Clay Johnson, one of their best players, but they've still been playing great.
Up top, you got Rager and Gladney. He goes to the Pro Wells, caught it, dropped it. He had it in his hands, and he dropped it, and that had 6 written all over it. J.T. Woods in coverage.
Max Duggan could not have placed that ball any better. Pro Wells, boy, he just doesn't bring it in. Duggan thought that one was 6 for sure. Pro Wells listed as a wide receiver, but that size, 6'4", 257, got behind the defense on that one. Clearly has some wheels, but got to haul that one in. Wasted opportunity there for TCU.
Griffin Kell coming in. This is from 47 yards out. And he is money. And the Horned Frogs strike first. They get 3. They could have had 6 had Pro Wells held on. Here in the first quarter, 3-0 TCU. That's the look of disappointment as the sophomore Pro Wells dropped what should have been 6 points for TCU. This is the 115th meeting between these two schools. I tell you what, their first meeting came in 1899, and it ended in a 0-0 tie.
Barn burner.
Yeah, most played series between these two schools. Cole Bunts will kick things away to Josh Fleeks, the sophomore out of Dallas. And Baylor will start from their own 25. And here comes Charlie Brewer making his 25th career start. He's averaging 313 yards passing the last 3 games. Leads the team with 6 rushing touchdowns this season.
And that's something Gary Patterson pointed out to us, and could be a point of emphasis for this TCU defense today. You have got to watch Charlie Brewer taking off when things are covered up downfield. You have to be very disciplined with your rush. Don't get too high, meaning too far upfield on your rush, because he can take off underneath and hurt you.
Oh, we got a
movement on that offensive line. Might be everybody. One of those calls. Everybody but the center.
Here's Brandon Cruz.
Ball start, offense, number 55, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Xavier Newman. He's the junior out of DeSoto.
Not too far from here.
Yep.
Just a little bit. On 30 East. I live in Arlington, so this area is very close.
You know, this is the first time Baylor has allowed an opening possession score all season long as Brewer keeps it. Hit by Ben Wilson. Picks up 3 yards. Well, when you talk about the Baylor offense, the senior Denzel Mims leads the Bears in catches. He's got 38 of them, 6 TDs. That kid is 6'3", 215. He's got both size, speed. He's a defensive nightmare.
Yeah, no question about it. And you're going to see Jeff Gladney. He's a guy that probably going to be playing on the next level. He's matched up with Mims right now.
They're at the bottom of your screen. 4-man front for TCU. And the pressure comes and he's sacked. Garrett Wallow and O'Shawn Mathis come in there. loss of 10.
Boy, and you're going to see Mathis come off of the edge here. Steps to the inside. Goes back to the outside. Beats Casey Phillips, the left tackle. And absolutely no chance for Brewer right there.
3rd and 22. Coming for the Bears. They've given up now 21 sacks. Brewer, plenty of time. Now flushed. He's going to throw it. Too high, incomplete. Flag. It was in the direction of Chris Platt.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, defense, number 32, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. The player who lost his helmet by rule may stay in the game because the helmet came off due to a foul.
That's on O'Shawn Mathis, who had the sack. That's huge. It was 3rd and 22. Now it's first down for Baylor.
Boy, and those are the kind of mistakes that have plagued this TCU team all year long. And this is a 4-4 team that could very easily only have 1 or 2 losses. Too many mistakes, too many turnovers, too many dumb penalties.
Here's Hasty, his first carry, and he is bottled up by a bunch of Horned Frogs. Wallow, Wilson, both make the stop.
Washington in from that safety spot as well. What you're going to see from Gary Patterson defenses, you're going to see tight man coverage to the outside. You're going to see what's called flat-footed safeties. Flat-footed meaning they're not backing out at the snap. They're usually going to be inserted into the front to help out with the run game.
Ball fake to Hasty. Over the middle, throw too high. He was looking at R.G. Sneed. We take a look at the TCU defense. And listen, their best cover corner is Jeff Gladney. Always one-on-one with the best receiver. He's going to draw the Mims assignment today. He leads TCU with 9 pass breakups. Just recently accepted, by the way, an invite to the Senior Bowl, which will take place in January. Mims, Gladney at the bottom of your screen. Baylor has allowed 12 sacks now in the last 2 games. This is 3rd and 10. Brewer throws, complete, and dropped. Tyquan Thornton had it, and Tre'Vius Hodges Tomlinson. He's the nephew of the Hall of Famer LaDainian Tomlinson, getting his first start makes the stop.
Boy, and Tomlinson does a nice job reaching around on that one, knocking the ball away. Never give up if you're a defensive back. Just because the ball gets into the hands of that receiver, still have an opportunity to knock that thing out. That's exactly what he did right there.
John Mayers is going to punt it back to the very dangerous Jalen Rager.
Hit one of the Baylor players on the way down the field there. They may, they're going to change the spot on that.
Yes, they're going to mark that one at the 47 for TCU when we come back. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. I think we just saw some of the pictures of their first meeting from 1899.
That was old school right there.
3-0 our score here in the first quarter. Horned Frogs getting their second offensive possession. They'll start after just a 23-yard punt by the Baylor Bears. 1st and 10 from their own 47. The Jet in the backfield. Anderson's got it. Left side. Cross midfield. And the Jet down the sideline. We got a flag, though. It was dropped back at the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense number 68, 10 yards from the previous spot. It's first down.
That's on left tackle Anthony McKinney, the senior out of Rockford, Illinois.
You see him right in here and really didn't need to be in on that one. Nice little run by Anderson. Dips to the inside, bounces to the outside, getting some good blocks. Artavius Lynn on the outside was doing a nice job. It's a shame. It was a really nice play call, getting the ball to the edge quickly like that.
How about this? Jalen Reagor now with the Wildcat. Duggan moves out to the outside. It's Reagor with it and slips. That's how quick he is. That turf monster will get you.
That turf monster will get you. You know, you get into that Wildcat formation like that, and Reagor just got a little bit excited. Just catches his own feet right there. Little face plant. In the NFL, you can get up and keep going. Not like it, not the same way in college, of course.
2nd and 22. Anderson now moves out. TCU will go empty set. 5 wide. Duggan quickly over the middle of the Pro Wells. And he makes that catch. 6-yard pickup. 3rd down coming.
Yeah, just trying to get some of that back. You're still going to have 3rd, 15, 16 to go.
And Wells is down.
We hate to see that, reaching up for the
shoulder,
right shoulder, collarbone area. And don't want to speculate, but reaching up into that area. You take a... Yeah, that may be a shoulder the way he came down on that elbow. Sometimes you get all that weight, and as we mentioned before, he's a big guy, 257 pounds. And you come down on your forearm and onto your elbow simultaneously like that, and it can push your shoulder up and out.
I tell you, Robert, he's been quite an offensive weapon for him as he gets up. It's good to see him walk off. He scored 5 touchdowns in the last 5 games for TCU. Had career high in catches and receiving yards last week against Oklahoma State. Had 4 catches, 52 yards receiving. He's got a couple of catches here for 15 yards today, and you can see him favoring that shoulder.
Yeah, and not swinging that arm at all as he was coming off the field there, and clearly in a lot of pain right there. No, he's a tough guy, so he's feeling a lot of pain right now. We'll see. They'll probably send him in, get him an X-ray, and evaluate him. Hopefully we'll see him back.
Sewo Olonilua in the backfield. Duggan back to pass, steps up, hit as he throws it to Olonilua. And he's dropped at the 49-yard line. That's an 8-yard pickup.
Nice tackle there by Houston, and Olonilua, again, he's quite a load on the outside. And Houston playing that cornerback spot, coming up, making the hit.
Jordan Sandy will come to punt things away. Braylon Arnold back deep for Baylor inside his own 10. Well, when we come back, another look at Charlie Brewer and that Baylor offense. They're down 3-0 here in the first quarter. Of course, the college football playoff rankings came out this week. Here's a look at the top 10. Baylor right on the outside at number 12. And you looked at this, Robert, a couple of teams could fall out of here. You know, Penn State is taking on Minnesota, Alabama, LSU. So what do you think this Baylor squad's got to do to try to crack that top 10?
Well, you beat Oklahoma and Texas in the next couple of weeks. I don't think you have anything to worry about. And of course, in the Big 12, you would have a rematch probably in the Big 12 championship game.
John Lovett met in the hole by Garrett Wallow. We take a look at the resume of these Baylor Bears. Just one of 7 undefeateds left here in college football. They're really the only team in the top 15 with a couple of wins on the road against top 25 teams. Knocked off K-State, Manhattan, Oklahoma State, Stillwater.
They found a way to get it done. And not just Brewer as a quarterback, but this entire team poised late in games.
Brewer to the outside to Josh Fleeks, right at the first down marker. Hodges, Tomlinson, Ben Wilson make the stop. They say it's a first down. They'll move to sticks for Baylor.
And talking to Matt Rule yesterday. Said you're going to see some new blitzes that you have not seen from TCU on this first couple of drives. We know he's a defensive master.
Brewer, ball fake, going deep. He's Carlos Fleeks, underthrew it, picked off. That's LaKendrick Van Zandt. And we got a flag on the play. Fourth interception on the season with Charlie Brewer.
And Brewer just doesn't get enough on this one. Fleeks had Van Zandt beat on that one. Clearly, he's got to get that ball out of there a little bit earlier. But if he can get enough on that one would have been 6.
First interception of the season for Van Zandt. And the thing about Van Zandt, he was playing linebacker.
After the interception, during the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block. Intercepting team, number 32, 15-yard penalty. First down, TCU.
So they call the blindside block, which is something that they're cracking down this season on. O'Shawn Mathis after the interception. But again, first career pick for LaKendrick Van Zandt, the sophomore out of Henderson, Texas.
Well, as you said it, though, he had been playing linebacker, and make no mistake about it, the offensive staff, offensive coordinators, Jeff Nixon, Glenn Thomas, they saw a matchup that they liked back there, but Brewer's just got to get enough on that football. They wanted to go after him. Brewer's got to just get a little bit more on that one. Would have had a long touchdown.
And turnovers have always been the story in this rivalry. Generally, it's TCU that's getting the turnovers and Baylor turning the football over. Anderson with the carry. Back to the line of scrimmage. And that's about it. You know, last year when these two teams met, TCU forced 3 turnovers and had none. Year before, the same story. And in fact, TCU has won 4 straight against Baylor. And in those 4 victories, TCU has forced 12 turnovers. Baylor, just 2. Second and 10. Pro Wells is back. He's at the top of your screen in the slot. Duggan keeping it, running, slides. Oh, yes, Jordan Williams came flying in head first.
And remember, Chris Miller, the safety, is out this game because he had 3 consecutive targeting. And remember, when Max Duggan goes down, well, that one may not be targeting, though, because there wasn't forcible contact.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, it's
defense, number 38, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, so that won't be a targeting, but just unnecessary roughness. Once a quarterback gives himself up on the slide like that, you've got to pull up. I know defensive players, they always complain about this and say, hey, you know, it's really tough, and, you know, we're already coming in to make the hit. You just got to be smarter than that. Cost your team 15 yards. Thankfully for Baylor, they didn't have targeting to go with it. We mentioned Chris Miller, their safety, missing this game. 3 targeting calls on the year, so he's done for a complete game.
Here's Anderson, left side. Brought down at about the 29-yard line. J.T. Woods makes the stop. Give him about 9. They go with tempo. Second and 1. Again to Anderson. Maybe the line of scrimmage and a little short. DeAndre Zuzwa makes the stop.
And Zuzwa ran that one down from the backside, and this Baylor defense really been doing a tremendous job all season long. Number 1 in the conference in red zone defense as we get a little bit closer here.
Defense coordinator Phil Snow for those Baylor Bears. Third and 1. Sewo Olonilua in the backfield. Had a career-long run. Last time he touched it, he's got a first down. 6-yard pickup for Olonilua.
And Olonilua is a big back, but he does a nice job going out the back door, as we call it, on a play like this that's designed to go out of the front side. Sees that opening off the back edge of that defense. that doesn't try and get horizontal. He gets vertical in the first seam that he can find, and then gets right downhill and gets a first down.
4 minutes left in this quarter. Jalen Reagor at the top of your screen. They go from the pistol. Duggan rolls, looking Reagor's way, throws, and picked off. Graylin Arnold stepped right in front and made the pick for Baylor.
Great job by Arnold undercutting this route. Knew that TCU was going to try and get it to their man Reagor. Arnold undercuts it, gets the pick, going the other way.
FS1 College Football is sponsored by Dave & Buster's. Download the new Dave & Buster's Fun app today. Max Duggan, the interception. He is now thrown 3 TDs and 5 picks here in the last 3+ games. Keep in mind, he had 9 TDs, no interceptions in the first 5 games.
Nice job defensively there from Baylor. And we'll have a chance later to take a look at that one.
Brewer keeps it, flares it out, the fleeks, and he is met by Drayvon Merrick.
Boy, and you can see Arnold here lined up. He's going to buzz out. Great job of recognition, because you're going to see little boot action, but Arnold recognizes right away, hey, I got to get under this route. I know where they're going to try and go with this thing. Great job, I'm sure, of teaching throughout the course of the week from defensive coordinator Phil Snow, but great job of recognition and execution by Graylin Arnold.
Love it. In the backfield. 3 minutes until the second quarter. Brewer throws to the outside, incomplete. He's looking for Mims, but he was locked up with Gladney. So far, Charlie Brewer, 2 of 6, and an interception.
And remember, he was 14 of 29 in the game a year ago. Again, Gary Patterson this team prides itself on the defense. And of course, Gary Patterson calls his own defense. Great job of execution right there. We talk about Gladney being lined up on Mims all day long. Nice job breaking that one up.
Here's Fleeks, receiver screen. Gobbled up by a whole bunch of Horned Frogs.
We talked about it. Gary Patterson calling his own defense, and of course he spends a lot of time with those guys and not happy with the execution a week ago, and I'm sure that they weren't happy. So they spent a lot of time watching some film, making some corrections, and you could see them executing very well so far today.
And you remember Coach Patterson, he was adamant about, hey, a lot of people talk about offenses can control a game. Hey, I can control a game with my defense. He made that point to us. Isaac Power punting things away. Reagor calls for the fair catch at his own 40. Well, you know, in Waco, you got Chip and Joanna Gaines. They got that fixer-upper show. Well, Matt Rule's been doing it at Baylor now. He went 1-11 in 2017. Turned things around the next season, went 7-6. And then this year, I mean, undefeated at 8-0, averaging nearly 140 more total yards per game than their opponent. Look at that mansion he's living in now in Waco.
Boy, that's an elite mansion right there.
Yes, it is.
And the stat that I botched earlier actually was one of only 2 programs since 1937 that had an 0-8 season, and within 2 years had an 8-0 season. Matt Rule has done a tremendous job with this program. Not a season, a start to a season.
Give a couple of yards to Anderson. Obanaya with the stop for Baylor. So talk to me about Baylor. You watch TCU's defense. They have a 4-down line front. Baylor goes with this 3-3-5. What's the difference?
Yeah, you got that 3-man front, and they want to have 12 guys in a 2-point stance. And the thing that you do is you have more coverage along the backside, but it's that quarterback run potentially that you can expose yourself to. It's all about where that 7th defender is and how they come up to support the run.
Duggan, pressured, Drops it off to Olonilua. And upended by Jordan Williams. Terrell Bernard was there as well. Third down coming for the Bears, or for TCU.
No, a lot of these decisions are really dictated by the personnel that you have as well. Felt that you don't have enough of the guys to have a solid rotation along that defensive line. Sometimes you'll go with the three-man front, but of course here in the Big 12, this is something that we've seen, kind of a trend. Of course, Iowa State does that three-man front as well.
Duggan throwing it complete. Carter Ware. That's a first down for TCU.
Nice play right there, getting Ware out in a little boot action there. Max Duggan releasing off the backside, hitting him in the flat. Good play there by offensive coordinator Sonny Cumbie.
Again from the pistol. Olonilua straight ahead. 7-yard pickup, and that'll be the last play here of the first quarter. This is a heated rivalry, and it's the Horned Frogs 3-0 over Baylor. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Dave & Buster's. Download the new Dave & Buster's Fun app today. Second quarter, as we take a look at the first quarter stats, both teams with a turnover. TCU's dominated the football in time of possession, and they've got the rock right now.
Time of possession in yards, 101 total yards to 8 for Baylor. That's what Gary Patterson, as a defensive-minded coach, wants to see.
2nd and 3. Duggan keeps it. Left side, cuts back, dives. He's got the first down.
Boy, 3 receivers that time lined up into the boundary with Rager by himself on the other side. You wonder if you come back to that same formation. Well, they're going to go 2-by-2 this time. I think we're going to see an attempt to get Rager on one of those deep shots. Does such a great job going up, pulling balls down.
Jamison Houston is on Rager at the bottom of your screen. Duggan to Olonilua, and he is hit behind the line of scrimmage. James Lockhart was the first to hit him.
Lockhart did a nice job running that thing down from the backside. You may see that shot here. 2nd and 12 on the edge of the red zone. Seen a lot of movement from that Baylor secondary. They were trying to give a lot of different looks to the freshman Max Duggan.
No pressure. Here comes that pressure. Hit as he throws, and incomplete, in and out of the hands of Rager.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to. You can see Rager lined up on the outside here. And that's Houston on the coverage. Just a little high on that throw, but he gets him in the hands, and Rager's normally good to bring something like that in.
Bravion Roy made the hit on Duggan as soon as he released it. 3rd and 12. Horned Frogs 3 of 5. Baylor showing pressure. Duggan under pressure, sacked by the Bears. Blake Lynch. This is a guy who started at 5 different positions with the sack.
Offensive, defensive positions, just all over the place. Yeah, that's just one of those cases, again, defensive coordinator Phil Snow doing a great job moving those guys around and not allowing Max Duggan to get any kind of read on that secondary, and that time just overloaded the front. Too many defenders, not enough blockers.
Sandy, the punt. Takes a TCU roll. And goes out of bounds at the 5. Baylor football when we come back. Three 0 our score. Let's get a quick Dave and Buster game break with Sam Farber.
Guys, number 4 Penn State at number 17 Minnesota. Both sides are 8-0, and they were tied at 7 until Chris Ottman-Bell takes the Tanner Morgan screen past the distance. 21-yard touchdown. Penn State has added a field goal, so it's now 14-10 Minnesota in the first quarter. Back to Brian and Robert.
All right, Sam, thank you. First down and 10 for the Baylor Bears. On the run, Brewer, that's complete. The Denzel Mims. Mims with his first catch of the afternoon.
Nice job on the rollout there by Brewer. Not a lot of success today with straight drop back. Get him onto the edge. Get Mims on an out route. Able to get a little separation from Gladney that time.
Brewer, he's going to keep it. Up the middle. Brought down at the 21. Ross Blacklock trips him up. Give him 5 yards. He'll be looking at a 2nd and 5. Hasty tried to spin off of Garrett Wallow. Got back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down coming for Baylor.
You can see why Wallow, one of the national leaders in tackles, averaging more than 10 tackles a game. Very secure with that tackle on Hasty right there. Hasty tried the spin move. Wallow wasn't having any of it.
Bears will go 4 wide. Mims at the top of your screen. Brewer looking left. Keeps it. Flag thrown. Mathis made the stop. Let's find out about the flag.
I'm guessing that one's going to be on Blake Bedier. See who they ended up calling that one on.
Personal foul.
Nope.
Face mask. Offense number 52. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
That's Sam Tecklenburg, senior out of Plano. Baylor will have to punt this one away. So far, Baylor has kind of stubbed their toe with some penalties and obviously the turnover. Isaac Power will punt things away. Rager standing at his own 36. Keep in mind, he's already returned one to the house, and we got a fake. First down and more by Baylor. Love it. Kept it. 17-yard pickup for Baylor. What a call.
Yeah, you go with that quick huddle break right there, and this is going to be a direct snap. And TCU was not expecting that one at all. Saw everybody dropping out of there. Nice call right there. Gutsy call. By Matt Rule.
17-yard pickup. Longest play from scrimmage thus far for Baylor. Tristan Ebner has checked into the game for the first time for Baylor in the backfield. And they throw it to the outside to Chris Platt. And Platt's got a first down. Platt, Brad Senior.
Platt gets matched up against Garrett Wallow on that one. That's going to be a mismatch. Not something that TCU is going to want to try and live with all day long.
First play from them in TCU territory. R.J. Sneed. Booty took a hit from Ben Wilson.
Just trying to get the ball out of Brewer's hands quickly, get it to the outside. It's a good job blocking out there. Snead just gets pulled down violently. Get up and go.
Brewer under pressure again, steps up and brought down, and there's a flag. Let's see if there's a face mask. Terrell Cooper brought him down.
Yeah, it looks like he got a hold of the face mask on that one.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 95.
Pretty clear right there. That's a hold of it.
Fourth penalty on TCU. 55 yards and penalties for the Horned Frogs thus far. 9 minutes until the half. Baylor going with 2 tight ends. 12 personnel. Hasty in the backfield. And Jermichael gets it and runs right up the middle. Give him 4 yards.
That TCU defense, normally so disciplined, against Oklahoma State, they did a pretty good job against Chuba Hubbard most of the day on most of his carries. It was just a couple big plays where he was able to break free. Guys doing a much better job today executing that scheme defensively and getting in the right place and making the stops.
Brewer kept it, and O'Shawn Mathis made him pay. 2-yard loss. 3rd and 8 coming for Baylor.
Mathis does a nice job on this one, getting into Brewer's face, and it's about knowing your responsibilities. Don't go chasing after the running back if that's not your guy. That's how you best defend these type of option plays, zone read type plays. Everybody has an assignment. Stay on your assignment. Use the eye discipline, stay with your guy, and execute.
11th play of this drive. Keep in mind, it started at their own 5. Brewer going, throwing, complete to Mims. It's a catch, and it's a first down.
For a first down.
All right, nice job by Brewer there. Had to navigate the official on that one as well. Mims just breaks right in there. Does a nice job getting underneath Washington. And Brewer had to be very accurate on that throw. Nice job.
To the outside and complete to Ben Sims. The big tight end makes his first catch of the season. Redshirt freshman out of San Antonio. 5-yard pickup. 2nd and 5. Baylor will stay with the 2 tight end set.
They're having some success throwing the ball into the flats.
And again to the tight end. Sims again with the catch.
Hodges Tomlinson again are on the tackle right there. But as I was saying before that play, they've been having some success thrown to the flats. And, you know, any defense is going to have its weak points. But a nice job right there by Hodges Tomlinson after the catch is made, getting the tackle.
Brewer so far 6 of 6 on this drive. 3rd and 5, and the Bears want to talk about it.
Timeout of the half by Baylor. Timeout on the field.
Coach Rule will call a timeout. Let's go to break as well. 3-0 our score. FS1 College Football. It's sponsored by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Most efficient quarterback in Baylor history. Also the Heisman Trophy winner, RG3. Hey, he's watching. He tweeted this out. 8-0. Baylor football. Let's go. Sick 'em.
RG3, I had a chance to see him as a true freshman up at UConn. And he enrolled early and ran track in the spring. Basically took 3rd in the NCAA 400 hurdles as a high school senior.
Brewer to the top to Mims. Hit. As soon as he caught it, by Trayvon Merrick.
Nice job closing on that one. And this time it's not going to be. Gladney's actually on the other side on this one. And it's Merrick in coverage. Able to get it to Mims, but no yards after catch that time because of the secure tackle by Merrick.
John Mayers in for the field goal attempt, 32 yards out. And that one hit. Hold it. Hit the upright, no good. Mayer hooked it left. It's the upright. He can't believe it. It's still 3-0. Well, before the NFL games kick off tomorrow, download the Fox Sports Super 6 app and play Super 6 NFL Sunday. Free a chance to win Terry Bradshaw's money. Man, Baylor went 15 plays, 80 yards, came up with nothing. Darren Barlow checks in for the first time for TCU. He's in the backfield. 4 wide, 1st and 10 from their own 20. And it looks like Lynch jumped off sides. See if he was drawn off.
Ball start. Offense. Number 62. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
And he was. David Balasami.
Boy, just got a little nervous there. It doesn't take much. See him at that right tackle spot, and that right knee just goes out a little bit. Pulls Lynch off. And they're taking their time at the line of scrimmage. We talked about what defensive coordinator Phil Snow had been doing, really moving things around a lot in the secondary. Max Duggan was up there, taking a lot of time, doing the fake snap counts, trying to see if they could get one look out of the secondary.
This is Tay Barber from the receiver spot to the backfield. Jordan Williams makes the stop. 5-yard pickup by Barber.
Yeah, and Barber had the big game against Texas. 5 catches in that game for 94 yards in that win, including a 51-yard reception. Versatile player.
Five minutes until the half. Bears show pressure. Now drop back. And they give it to Barlow. And he's met at the line of scrimmage. And ridden down by Blake Lynch. 3-yard pickup.
A chess match on the outside and underneath here. Baylor making some late calls, moving around in the secondary, really trying to change up looks. But ultimately, it always comes down to blocking and tackling. If you got somebody that you want making a tackle, Blake Lynch is certainly that guy. We talked about his versatility on this defense. Nice job just executing a plain old tackle right there.
3rd and 7. Duggan steps up, throws, complete. That's Rager. That's a first down.
They bring Rager underneath the formation that time, just kind of a little drag underneath, shallow cross route. It was Lynch sitting on the backside, waiting for him on the backside of that zone. Dangerous running through zones like that. That's where you got to rely on your quarterback not to throw you into a headache. Duggan did a nice job getting the ball into Rager's hands, allowing him to catch that one, turn upfield before Lynch could make the tackle.
Olonilua has it. Braylon Arnold trips him up, 3-yard pickup.
Talk about Olonilua. 6'3", 240 pounds. Big guy, but he's got a lot of flexibility in those hips. You don't see that a lot from big ball carriers like that. It's a guy that, normally at a size like that might add some more weight and play tight end. But he's a heck of an athlete. I think we're going to see him playing on Sundays at some point.
5 carries, 50 yards for Olonilua. Duggan steps up, throws over the middle. And they say it is a catch. Tay Barber comes up with it.
A little bit late and a little bit low for Max Duggan right there. But able to squeeze that one in.
Olonilua, left side, cross midfield. He's in Baylor territory.
Body blows right there. 3-man fronts again. All about how you get a 7th player into the box. And there's been this chess match with all the changing offensive, defensive fronts. Get back to it.
Duggan, he's got a man. Wells, open, caught. Pro Wells makes the catch at the 15-yard line.
But Wells brings this one in. We saw the big drop. Could have been a touchdown earlier in the game. Nice job extending the hands on that one, making the catch.
29-yard pickup. Olonilua now dancing at the line of scrimmage and driven back. Terrell Bernard, the first one to meet him. TCU chopping away here. Under 2 minutes until the half.
Great throw from Duggan there. He had the pressure in his face being applied by Jordan Williams. Just stayed calm and poised in the pocket there. Delivered a nice ball to Pro Wells. Might see some run here from Max Duggan. We had seen in the last few weeks averaging about 90 yards and a touchdown in each of the last 3 weeks.
Keep in mind, TCU has scored on 20 straight red zone possessions. The Jet gets the carry here. Minute until the half. This is important considering Baylor won the toss. They deferred. Baylor will get the football at the beginning of the second half. So the Horned Frogs trying to put on some points before we go into the locker room.
And strength versus strength. You talk about how good TCU has been offensively in the red zone. Defensively, Baylor #1 in the conference in red zone defense.
Rager at the bottom of your screen. Jamison Houston on him. Baylor showing pressure. Here they come. Duggan throwing. Looking for Rager. Incomplete.
Just low on this throw right here to Rager. Well, terrible coverage. He kind of put that one in the only place he could. Houston's going to be coming over late. You see Rager coming in. Houston's in the coverage, and actually it was a safety coming over late on that play. That's a throw that Max Duggan would certainly like to have back, because that one could have been 6.
So here comes Jonathan Song, and for Baylor, listen, they are the masters at blocking kicks. They have blocked 5 kicks this season. That one is good. 6-0 our score here in Fort Worth.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, what should we expect from #9 Oklahoma coming off their first loss? And we're going to look ahead to Iowa and Wisconsin's top 20 matchup. Reggie Bush on where the Badger focus will be. Brian, Robert, we'll see you guys at the break.
Okay, Stoner, thank you.
Wow, Rob Stone just said our names. How cool.
Song with the kick. 6-0 our score. Goal bounce. Kick this one. Oh, it's loose. Wow. TCU comes up with it. Baylor, another turnover, and this one late.
And you had the special teams. You don't want to say it's a failure by TCU to miss out early. This is a good decision right here.
Tristan Slinker, the linebacker.
You try and squib a kick like that. You want to take some time off of the clock, but you also want to try and force one of those up men that aren't normally returning those balls, fielding those balls, especially low ones like that. Now you get the ball in the red zone.
Jeff Gladney came up with it. So now, 1st and 10 for TCU. Opportunity to put more points on the board. Duggan steps up. He's going to keep it. Brought down at the 15. Timeout, Horned Frogs.
18 seconds. We talked about the danger of Max Duggan with his legs. I think he did a good job right there, kind of not taking the chance. Looked like he might have had an opportunity for an end zone shot on that one, but we talked
by TCU, 30-second timeout.
We talked about the interceptions that he's thrown, all of them on the season now, 5 in the last 3 weeks. But he made the decision to pull that one down and run. They're going to have a couple of shots, you would think, at least with the time remaining here, to try and get 6.
Well, absolutely, especially with a couple of timeouts. You got a big guy in Pro Wells. You've got Artavius Lynn, Jalen Rager. Definitely want to take a couple of shots here. 2nd and 3 for the Horned Frogs. 18 seconds left into the half.
And we talked about guys moving to 3-man fronts. You've got smaller players on the back end. Pro Wells, Artavius Lynn, big bodies that become great targets in the red zone.
Duggan looking, rolls right, and throws that one away. Bravion Roy is the one who hit Duggan.
And Roy coming off of the edge of the defense. Well, that's actually Lynch lined up on the outside, and Roy makes his way to the outside. Nice job keeping his eyes on Duggan and keeping him from escaping the pocket. And it's not just about preventing him from running. It's about keeping him from finding an open pass lane to get a pass out.
Olonilua gets the carry. And another timeout by TCU.
Second charge, timeout by TCU, 30-second timeout.
8 seconds left until the half. I want to remind you the State Farm halftime show. It's coming up at the half. Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and Coach Urban Meyer. They're all standing by. Now, you got one timeout. You take one shot here at the end zone. 8 seconds.
Yeah, you have enough time to take a shot at the end zone here, especially with that timeout. Just got to make sure if you get flushed, got to be intelligent, and that's, you know, on the quarterback, Max Duggan. He's a true freshman. This is one of those things. Sonny Cumbie gets him on the sideline, says, look, make sure that you understand the time here. If you get flushed for some reason, don't take a dumb sack. Don't make a dumb throw. He had some of those throws against Oklahoma State. They were just kind of like throwaways that ended up being interceptions.
Second timeout of the half by Baylor. 30-second timeout.
Baylor wanted to take a look how they were lined up. Here's the defense coordinator, Phil Snow.
Right, Phil Snow, he's been around it for a long time. This is the great chess match here when you have offensive coordinators that come out with one formation, one play in mind. The defense may come out and change, but you've got these glance offenses, and they'll come and they'll break the huddle, but then take a look to the sideline. But we've seen defensive coordinator Phil Snow so many times today. He has really changed up a lot of looks in that secondary, disguising coverage, disguising where pressure is going to be coming from. Interested to see where this call is going to be.
Rager is at the bottom of your screen. Along with Pro Wells and Tay Barber. Duggan looking their way. Steps up, throws too high.
Well, there it was right there. He knew he wasn't going to be able to get that clean shot to the end zone, and that was Sonny Cumbie, I'm sure, told him on the sideline, look, you're going to need to get rid of this thing, make sure that we have enough time to kick a field goal. Steps up there, said, okay, throw it to the cowboy into the back of the end zone.
So this field goal will be from 31 yards out. Baylor's blocked 9 kicks in the last 13 games. 14 since the start of the 2017 season. That's the second most in the country. And Song drills another one. 9-0 now. TCU as we go to the half. So a scoreless first half. First time in 18 games for Matt Rule and his Bears. They've turned the football over twice. 9-0. That's our score here in Fort Worth. The State Farm halftime show. It's coming up next. But first, a quick break. Nothing our score here in Fort Worth as the unbeaten Baylor Bears taking on TCU Horned Frogs. Brian Custer alongside Robert Smith. And man, you look at that first half. First time in 18 games that Baylor has been held scoreless in the first half.
Yeah, and remember, this TCU team did a really good job defensively against Baylor a year ago. They held Brewer to 14 and 29 in that game. No touchdowns and an interception. And, you know, it's not just turnovers that make a difference in a game. There are a lot of different little things that can go wrong, miscues that can be the difference, and we really saw that in the first half.
And that's really been the story of this first half. Miscues and missed opportunities, not only for Baylor, but for TCU as well.
Yeah, you look at that first drive, Pro Wells had an opportunity to catch this ball at the back of the end zone. Really nice throw by Max Duggan here. Goes right through the hands of Pro Wells. He was able to come back into the game after an injury and make a catch later. Big catch, and you see right there, Jalen Rager. Duggan was just a little bit too low on that throw. Here was the interception from Brewer. These are the things that, again, make a huge difference in ball games. And then, of course, the missed field goal. It might make them shave off those pork chops now. And then there was a really nice job, special teams.
This one hurt.
On the squib.
Yep.
Decision by TCU here. Get it into the hands and through the hands of one of those up backs and get an opportunity to get another 3 points on the board.
Yeah, that turnover came with just 25 seconds left until the half, and TCU tacked on another 3 points. As we take a look at it, Baylor with a couple of turnovers. TCU has got one as well, and the Horned Frogs have just dominated the time of possession. Baylor just 51 yards passing. Those are your first half. Of course, they're sponsored by Dave and Buster's.
73 total yards. 17 of those yards came on a fake punt. Look at those drives. Punt, interception, punt, missed field goal. And this is what Gary Patterson wanted to see from his team, especially defensively, after some of the numbers that they gave up against Oklahoma State. It looks terrible on the stat sheet when you talk about giving up a couple hundred yards rushing to a guy like Chuba Hubbard. But you think one of those was a 92-yarder, one was like a 60-yarder, and just a couple of missed assignments can be the difference. A couple of big plays. The little things matter, but they've been doing most of the little things right defensively all day long.
And I'm thinking, if you're Matt Rule, you probably told your Baylor squad, we can't play any worse, guys. And we're only down 9-0. We get a score, we're right back in this football game.
Yeah, no question about it. TCU, 2 opportunities for touchdowns. It ended up being only 3 points. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them.
Cole Bunce to kick it away. And Charlie Brewer and that Baylor offense will come back onto the field after racking up just 73 total yards. Keep this in mind. Max Duggan had a total of 98 yards himself. Baylor as a team just 73. Brewer 51 of those yards through the air. He also had an interception.
Gary Patterson talked about Charlie Brewer and that he was more comfortable facing three-man fronts. Much of the day today, he's been facing a four-man front from TCU.
They want to get the football downfield. They get it to Fleeks here. Fleeks makes a man miss. Down the sideline and pushed out of bounds. Garrett Wallow forced him out. You know, one of the things Baylor said, they want to start going over the top. Some deep throws here and test out this TCU corners and secondary.
Maybe that's going to be on some sort of double move or a fake bubble screen, something on the outside like you saw right there with the pass to Fleeks. You get those corners and safeties up and then try and hit them up over the top.
Brewer, that one's complete. Love it. Wallow with the stop. 2-yard pickup.
And we saw that matchup be a problem in the first half. Wallow, a great tackler. You're not going to want to make a living putting him in pass coverage all day long. Going to be a mismatch when you've got a wide out or a running back against Wallow.
Brewer on the move and throws to Tyquan Thornton. Thornton makes the catch. A couple of yards shy of the first down.
See, they're getting Charlie Brewer moving, getting that pocket moving, finding some opportunities in the zones on the outside of this defense. That's what they've been able to hit most of the day. Tough running up the middle, tough in those middle seams.
There's Brewer getting those tough yards up the middle. And it's a first down, and he's brought down at midfield. He's made 10 straight completions. Now 13 of 17 for 71 yards, but runs for this first down.
Well, we talked about his efficiency, talked about his poise and performance late in ball games, but again, his legs are a difference maker. Running quarterbacks are just so dangerous because they change the number count, so you can get outnumbered on one side or other of the center if you don't have the proper number of defenders.
Brewer going up top. He's got a man. Incomplete. He was looking for Denzel Mims. Merrick and Hodges Tomlinson back there in coverage.
Might have just gotten a little bit too much air on that ball. See, contact a little bit early from Morig on that one. Maybe could have thrown a flag on that one. I know that the purists out there might say that's ticky-tack, but Morig definitely got there a shade early with contact and prevented the receiver from getting a shot at the ball.
Brewer, flush, throws, complete. Hasty with the catch. It's a first down in TCU territory. 12-yard pickup.
It's something they want to try and do here, it seems, in this second half. Get the ball to running backs releasing out of the backfield, because you get that matchup again. You have the linebackers against running backs. Running backs, of course, best athletes on any football team.
Pressure coming. Hit as soon as he threw it. Ben Wilson came flying in and hit Brewer, and it looks like we got a late flag.
I wonder if they're going to call a hold on holding in the secondary on Stewart.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 2, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Keon Stewart.
You see Stewart in the coverage here. It just gets a little pull on the jersey. I thought they would call holding on that one. Again, anytime that you get the jersey to pull away from the body of the receiver, they're going to call that.
Hasty and a flag. 6 penalties, 75 yards on TCU.
False start. Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Xavier Newman. His second.
Miscues again. You get into the red zone area. get a false start like that. Back yourself up 5 yards after the positive momentum. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Baylor can't keep afford to doing this to themselves.
Brewer's going to step up, keep it, and brought down at the 25. Terrell Cooper makes the tackle.
Cooper did a nice job falling off of a player that was blocking him, keeping a good eye on Brewer on that one, hanging on for dear life, wrapping him up and getting him down.
Second and 12. Denzel Mims at the top of your screen. Tyquan Thornton at the bottom of your screen. And they give it to Hasty. Hasty cuts back, makes a frog miss, and brought down at the 20-yard line. 5-yard pickup. 3rd down coming for the Bears.
Watch the technique on the outside from these TCU cornerbacks. We talk about Gary Patterson, the way that he likes to play his man-to-man coverage, and they always will try and play with outside leverage on wide receivers, which means they're going to be lined up onto the outside shoulder, trying to funnel those receivers to the inside and preventing a fade-type throw. See if Baylor can come up with pass combination that exploits that.
Brewer looking over the middle, complete. Hasty, short of a 1st down. Garrett Wallow right there. Look at Coach Rule. He's telling his young quarterback, hey, you got a guy open. What are you throwing it to this guy for?
That was not, hey, that was a good job that you just did right there from Matt Rule. Certainly didn't like the performance of Charlie Brewer on that one.
This is from 36 yards out. John Mayers, keep in mind, he missed one from 32. Hit the upright. And he gets this one.
Good.
So the Bears are on the board.
Sick'em Bears, and you see Charlie Brewer getting a little bit of sick'em from his coach. They were able to get 3.
FS1 College Football, it is sponsored by Dave & Buster's. Download the new Dave & Buster's Fun app today. 9-3 our score here in the 2nd quarter. Darius Anderson and Darwin Barlow will be back deep. For TCU, Noah Rauschenberg will be kicking things away. Baylor finally on the board. 36-yard field goal. This is Anderson. Met and dropped at the 13. Flag on the play.
Usually some sort of block in the back or illegal block.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 15, half the distance to the goal. It's 1st down, TCU.
Well, here's an explanation of why Matt Rule might have been upset. You're going to get that matchup. We talked about the way that TCU likes to defend on the outside. You're going to see he had an opportunity to hit the middle of the field. That's where you're going to be able to exploit the structure of that TCU defense. You could see if he's able to get the ball out of his hands right there, could be 6. But it's a team game. Matt Rule was certainly upset with Charlie Brewer. The protection wasn't ideal, and I don't know that he had really the vision to be able to see that because of the pocket.
Oh, hit as he throws Duggan. James Lynch came in and lowered the boom on the freshman.
Yeah, Lynch certainly lowers the boom on Duggan right there.
Man,
That's
the last thing TCU needs.
Yeah, definitely. You know, with the dislocated finger and then the departures at the quarterback position here over the last couple weeks. 2 quarterbacks leaving the program.
Duggan again back to pass. That one complete to Pro Wells. Henry Black with the stop. This is what we're talking about. Justin Rogers and Alex Delton, they've left the program. Mike Collins, he got hurt last week against Oklahoma State. And now you've got Matthew Downing is backing up this freshman, Max Duggan. Wells with 4 catches and 58 yards. And it's Duggan again. Brought down by James Lockhart. 2-yard pickup.
We talked about Max Duggan coming into this ball game, averaging about 90 yards a game over the last 3 games. And a rushing touchdown in each of those games. Didn't do a whole lot of running in that first half, handing the ball off mostly on those zone reads. See if that changes here in the second half.
Yeah, past 3 weeks, he's run for 319 yards. Duggan has. That one too hot. And too high for Darius Anderson. 3rd down coming for TCU. You can take a look at what Duggan has done first 5 games compared to the last 3 games. He's averaging nearly 100 a game. Got just 9 yards.
It just changes things so much for a defense when you've got a quarterback that can threaten you with the run. I think we're going to see Sonny Cumbie, the offensive coordinator, utilize that here in the second half.
Just 2 catches by the TCU wide receivers thus far. Duggan, plenty of time, keeps it, steps up, across the 25. Oh, fleet of foot is Max Duggan.
Fleet of foot. How about knocking James Lynch to the ground? James Lynch sacked him or threw him down after throw in the end zone. Said, let me show you something, big man. Little stiff arm, get to the outside. They said he's a legit 4-5 guy. You can see that speed on display right there, but also a little bit of the power and reaching out, even with the hand with the dislocated middle finger on it, getting a little stiff arm action.
1st and 10 for TCU. This drive started at their own 5. Here comes the jet. Oh, good tackle. Terrell Bernard wasn't having it. 2-yard loss.
Read and react from Bernard. You can see him coming from the second level of the defense. Shot a gap right there. And able to take down the jet. And that's a lot of speed moving to the outside. You talk about personnel on these defenses in a 3-3, and linebackers are more safety size. That allows you to run those horizontal run plays down from that second level at the linebacker spot.
Baylor with 5 tackles for loss so far. Duggan to the outside. Ooh, what a smack! Jamison Houston. Talking about bear down.
Yeah, says, hey, you're going to catch this thing, but you're also going to pay for it. Nice clean hit right there, just physical football. Seeing what you hit, making the guy pay, but a nice job reacting on that one by Houston.
Sewo Olonilua in the backfield. Duggan to the outside, and Rager dropped it.
When they motion from the trips formation and throw it out to Rager, dangerous right there. Can be sometimes if you get a backwards pass, but Rager was close enough to the line of scrimmage on that miss that it was just an incompletion.
In to punt things away. Jordan Sandy. Ooh, Baylor came close. And it takes a TCU bounce. Down at the 16, 54-yard punt. This rivalry, they lay the wood here in Fort Worth. Nine to 3. Our score here in Fort Worth. Little bit over 6 minutes here in the third quarter. Our academic ambitions sponsored by SoFi. Get your money right. Goes to Marcus Jones. Academic all Big 12 first team last season before. He's a senior out of McKinney, Texas. This is John Lovett. Brought down over the 23-yard pickup.
Some good, powerful backs, versatile backs in this Baylor offense. John Lovett did a nice job that time stepping through the tackle. A big Cooper on the defensive line.
Charlie Brewer
cutting that one back.
Starting to heat up. 12 of 13, 74 yards. It's hit in the first 3 drives. You saw what he did there. On the run here, throws to the outside to Tyquan Thornton. Kendrick Van Zandt pushes him out of bounds. Third down and about 3 for this Baylor squad. Baylor unbeaten. They've won 10 straight games, dating all the way back to last season. Third longest streak in the FBS. Only Ohio State and Clemson have a longer winning streak right now than Baylor.
We've seen TCU wide and upfield off of the edges quickly to keep Charlie Brewer from escaping the pocket.
2 tight ends, and Brewer pounds his way for a first down. Blacklock brings him down, but 5-yard pickup for Charlie Brewer.
Physical run right there. Does a nice job following his blockers right there. Sam Tecklenburg leading the way on that one.
Again, they go to Lovett. Ben Wilson makes the stop, but not before Lovett picks up 9. Leads the team in rushing. Came into the day with almost 500 yards. Baylor trying to wear out this defense. Just 53 yards rushing. They average about 200 a game. Lovett again. Cuts back. He has a first down.
Right, you could see TCU doing the substitutions up front. You know, you called some boxing, and those body blows,
yes,
that cumulative effect of running the football, getting downhill as the game goes on.
It's just like boxing. Those body blows are going to pay dividends towards the end of the fight. Same thing with this running game. You got to keep pounding away, and you're hoping in that fourth quarter you can wear down the defense. Again to Lovett, and he's bottled up right there at the line of scrimmage.
But then it's also the opportunity to go pound, 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 and then play action up over the top. But the way that Gary Patterson plays his defense, again, you have to be able to run, and you better be ready to play some man-to-man, because he locks up receivers on the outside of that defense, so the safeties do have the flexibility to come up and insert themselves to defend the run.
Mims is at the top of your screen. Thornton at the bottom. Brewer throws to Thornton. And he's one of those guys that shake a tackle and take it to the house. 8-yard pickup.
Brewer being nice and patient. You can see him going through his reads on that one. Gets his eyes back across the formation and able to find Thornton, exploiting a little bit of cushion that existed on that one. Nice job by Brewer on that one.
Baylor has converted 38% of their third down opportunities so far. 3 of 8. Brewer to pass. He's got a man open, too high. Hasty had it and had a lot of real estate in front of him.
Just got to put on him. Pretty simple right there. Brewer had Hasty out into the flat and just floats that ball. A little funky with the mechanics right there. I think sometimes you get a receiver that's just so wide open and you don't want to miss him. You try and guide that thing instead of just throwing it. That's what that one seemed like right there. And sometimes try and take a little bit too much off of it if it's a running back instead of a receiver.
Powers, straight up punt. Takes a Baylor bounce and down inside the 10-yard line. 2 minutes left here in this quarter. Been some hitting here in Fort Worth.
Buckle your chin strap. Be ready for it. TCU gets it when we get back. We're here, those pads are popping. Oh, you baby, I'm good.
FS1 College Football, it is sponsored by Dave & Buster's. You can download the new Dave & Buster's Fun app today. Jalen Reagor, biggest offensive weapon, just 1 catch for 8 yards so far. He's also had a couple of drops. Sewo Olonilua in the backfield.
Some tight split. Oh, they got Reagor out now. They had him lined up a little bit tighter with a split, saw what defense was giving him and split him out.
Olonilua keeps it. Riley Tejada forces him out of bounds.
That's a big old running back. He gets ahead of steam coming out of the backfield, and even safeties that normally aren't shy about bringing it have some second thoughts, it seems, about how they want to go after him.
9 catches, 64 yards rushing for Olonilua, 2nd and 3. He gets the call again. Maybe a yard before Terrell Bernard wraps him up.
Big here, 3rd and 2. Trusted Olonilua to carry the load on this drive. See what they're going to go to here. Try and hit something out quick into the flat and let Reagor run. We got him pressed up man, so they won't be doing that.
Reagor at the top of your screen, matched up against Jamison Houston. And they keep it on the ground. And he's right there, it looks, at the sticks.
I think he got it. Good physical run right here. Little zone read look. You see Blake Lynch comes up to make the tackle. But Olonilua, good job. He's a big back. Ran with good pad level there.
Duggan. Under pressure by Roy. Hit! Terrell Bernard. Inside the 10. Big play, Baylor. Named Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week last week against West Virginia. Comes up with a big turnover for Baylor.
6th interception in the last 3 weeks for Max Duggan. And Bravion Roy, he's not just big, he is fast, and it's the closing speed of Bravion Roy. He makes the difference on this play. Max Duggan actually gets rid of that thing, and the ball just bounces right off of the hands of Olonilua, but high throw forced on that one with the pressure from Roy.
Bravion Roy put the hit on Duggan, and Baylor now with 20 interceptions or fumble recoveries here in the last 10 games. And they're in business. 1st and goal from the Horned Frog 8. Hasty tripped up Ross Blacklock. And one of the things Matt Rule said, told us, we got to contain number 90. Blacklock came firing through, trips him up.
Not just a big body, violent with his hands, a lot of good pass rush moves.
Prior to the snap, this is the end of the third quarter. Timeout on the field.
So we played 3 here in Fort Worth. Interception by Bernard. 9-3 TCU. FS1 College Football. It is sponsored by Dave & Buster's. Download the new Dave & Buster's Fun app today. 2nd and goal from the 9. As we take a look at the scoring here. And for Baylor, they have scored on the season 65 points in the 4th quarter. But they've given up 65 points in the 4th quarter this season as well. Last week against West Virginia, the first time they've shut out a team in the 4th quarter. And it's Hasty. He gets the carry and brought down at the 6, 2-yard pickup. And we got an injured TCU Horned Frog. It looks like it's LaKendrick Van Zandt.
And Van Zandt was the one that was able to get a hand in there onto the ankle, get that tackle. I don't know if extending his body the way that it did, if that arm got caught out, sometimes shoulders, the way you fall when your arm is fully extended.
Van Zandt had 3 starts at linebacker, been playing now at safety here the past couple of games. Had an interception earlier in this game. Got his first career pick. Got a little leg whip there at the end of that play.
Yeah, he just came flying across, gave his body up on that one, and with his leg having, or his legs and body having that momentum, you hit somebody else's leg from the side and it could just cause your joints to get a little bit overstretched. Sometimes a knee in a case like that, or a hip. Yeah, it looks like they're taking a look at his knee right there.
Six-point lead for the Horned Frogs. Let's take a break. We'll be back. FS1 College Football sponsored by Dave & Buster's. Download the new Dave & Buster's Fun app today. LaKendrick Van Zandt helped off the field. He was playing for the injured in his games. Now Nook Bradford have to take his place in that lineup. 3rd and goal for Baylor from the 9. Thornton at the bottom of your screen. Mims at the top. Brewer looking at Mims, throws his direction, knocked away. Jeff Gladney, the best cover corner, making a play.
Gary Patterson once again said, "You will not beat me with a fade." Down at this area of the field, has his cornerbacks playing outside leverage. Nice physical play there by Gadney, doing some fighting with Mims. Then gets his eyes back and is able to get the hand in front to knock that pass away. Nice job with the technique there by Gladney.
Mayers back in. 1 of 2. This is from 24. Gets that one to go.
Looked like they weren't real sure about that one.
3-point lead, but Jeff Gladney like a blanket. And he's going to talk that stuff too. 3-point lead for TCU. 6-9, our score now. Here in the fourth quarter, Baylor trying to remain unbeaten. Only unbeaten team right now in the Big 12. Trying to run that streak to 11 straight, dating back to last season. Sewo Olonilua, Darwin Barlow, back deep.
The Bear was feeling it, man. Be a good fight, the Bear versus the Super Frog.
Noah Rauschenberg, the kick. Let's check in with our guy, Sam I Am Farber, with this Dave and Buster's game break.
Well, Brian, I am sure at least one unbeaten is going to go down today because Penn State and Minnesota are playing each other. Nittany Lions were down by as many as 14, but they're coming back. Sean Clifford over the middle to Nick Bauer's 10-yard TD. They go for two, come up short, so it's currently 24-19 Minnesota in the third quarter. Back to Brian and Robert.
Wow, that's huge there. B.J. Fleck talked about how big it's the biggest game in Minnesota history in quite a while. Here's Max Duggan under pressure. Throws it out to the flat. And Graylin Arnold forces Anderson out of bounds. One of 7 unbeatens.
Well, there's another unbeaten that'll be falling with LSU and Alabama later, too.
Penn State on the ropes. Minnesota beating them. And then, of course, Clemson.
What did Al Davis say? Just win, baby.
Doesn't matter how. Get the W. Duggan. And that one batted down at the line of scrimmage. Looks like James Lynch got a paw on that one.
3-man front, 3-man rush. They're dropping 8 in the coverage there, making sure Max Duggan doesn't have any clearly defined lanes to throw the ball.
Kendrick Van Zandt.
Well, you just hate to see that.
Yeah, going off on crutches.
Yeah, couldn't put any weight on that, getting taken off the field and going on crutches into the locker room.
TCU's been great here on third down, 7-12. Baylor showing pressure. And they send him. Duggan throws over the middle. Wells dropped it. And a flag.
Holding. Offense number 68. Penalties decline. Result of the play is 4th down.
Been a rough day for Wells. Dropped the touchdown. Got injured earlier in the game, and that would have been a first down.
Boy, defensive coordinator Phil Snow, he's done a tremendous job all day, really changing up the look, not allowing Max Duggan to get comfortable, recognizing what a coverage might be, what the front is, where the blitz is going to come from. Did a great job bringing Jordan Williams into the front there.
Baylor looked like they were coming after this one. Here's Graylin Arnold. The play, he dropped it. Got it back. 56-yard punt. We got a couple of fired up coaches. Matt Rule and Coach Patterson. Lead is just 13 minutes left in this rivalry. Just under 14 minutes to play as we take a look at our game summary. A 3-point lead for TCU. Both teams with a couple of turnovers. And it's Baylor football. From their own 20. Brewer hands it off. Ebner maybe back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to say he lost a yard. By the way, no touchdowns been scored yet here. You got to go back 9 years since that happened in a Big 12 game. That's 393 games ago that we've had a game in the Big 12 that finished with no touchdown score. But we'll see what happens here. We still got 13 minutes. Ebner and Lovett in the backfield. And that one's complete to Ebner.
TCU's giving them that underneath stuff. Do that first, second down, you're winning. You talked about Gary Patterson saying that he could control the flow of the game. He certainly did it on those first 2 downs with his defensive calls. We'll see what he dials up here. Maybe bring a little bit of pressure, jar that ball loose, or force a turnover.
Let's see if Baylor's going to take a shot. Brewer. And there's a flag here on this one.
Prior to the snap, there was no play. False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Casey Phillips, the redshirt freshman out of Franklin, Texas.
And you could have called that one on just about anybody except the center and the right guard. Everybody trying to get back up out of their stances, and they're certainly going to have trouble sitting in there on this one too, because not an ideal situation. You're Baylor here. You might want to just run this one, not even take a chance trying to throw this ball too far downfield.
3rd and 13 to the outside. Another stick. Josh Fleeks makes the catch. Gladney right there. Keenan Reed as well, TCU.
Jeff Gladney, not just a cover guy, does a nice job coming off of his responsibility downfield, coming up and making this tackle. This is something Gary Patterson had talked about. Executing calls and then proper tackling. Something I'm sure that they were doing all week long after what happened against Oklahoma State.
Isaac Power punting it away to Rager. Second in the FBS and punt return average. Calls the fair catch. Frogs have it at their own 35. Fear the Frog. They're up 3. Welcome back. 9-6 our score. Paying tribute to our nation's military veterans, part of the fabric of who we are at Fox Sports. We're proud to partner with the Mission Continues, a nonprofit organization deploying military veterans to build stronger communities across the nation. Visit missioncontinues.org to learn more.
Greatest heroes right there, man. It's an embarrassment sometimes hearing us as athletes referred to heroes when we have veterans of this great country.
Well said. 1st and 10. Duggan keeps it left side. 1st down. Brought down in midfield by Blake Lynch. 15-yard pickup by the freshman.
We talked about how dangerous Max Duggan has been over these last few weeks carrying the football. But there it is right there. Averaging 90 yards a game over this last 3 weeks and 1 rushing touchdown in each of those games. He's definitely been turning the ball over too much, but his legs have made a big difference.
This is from the pistol. Anderson forced out of bounds by Jordan Williams. Give him a yard. 2nd and 9 coming for TCU. .30 left in the game.
That was a long look on that glance right there. It may have something dialed up right here. Wanted to take a little bit extra time, make sure they got that call right.
Duggan. Plenty of time, now flush, and they'll throw it away.
He was trying to get the ball to Rager on that one, and Houston was there on the coverage. May take a look at that one, and maybe a little bit gun shy after the interceptions that he's had here in the last 3 weeks. 6 interceptions he's thrown. 3 interceptions against Oklahoma State, 2 already today. Might have taken a chance on that one because it looked like Rager had found a soft spot in that zone of Baylor. He just couldn't do it. Didn't want to take the chance.
10 minutes left in the game. Rager, Pro Wells at the bottom of your screen. Duggan looking up top, under pressure by Roy. Gets it off. Sewo Olonilua, first down and more.
What a great job in the pocket for Max Duggan that time. He's got Roy bearing down on him once again. Still delivers a good ball to Olonilua and did a better job of keeping that ball down. You know, one thing to consider here, you're throwing to a running back. You don't want to get that ball too high because of the shoulder pads are much bigger than they are on a wide receiver. That ball got tipped previously because of that. He kept that one down. Great throw, even with the pressure.
And TCU, 8 of 14 on third down, well over 50%. They continue to move the sticks on critical third downs.
Critical third downs, and the point we are in this game kind of looks like that first drive. The first drive, they just went right down the field. And this is good play calling by Sonny Cumbie, really mixing things up. Quarterback run. He's had some opportunities for Max Duggan to get the ball downfield that haven't converted just yet. Max Duggan's done a great job taking what the defense gives him.
Olonilua leaps a man, maybe a yard.
See Arnold coming in for the tackle, and Olonilua goes up high again. Because Olonilua is so big, he's a terrible matchup problem. Outweighs most defensive backs by a good 30 pounds. He knows guys are going to be coming in low. But Arnold was able to get in there, get underneath him, and get Olonilua off balance.
The Jet has checked in the backfield. Duggan under pressure and sacked. Terrell Bernard. Boy, he's come up with some big plays and made a big sack there.
And Darius, the Jet Anderson, you're going to see him line up in the backfield. He's not going to be able to pick up this block on Bernard. Got to be good and stout with your pass protection. Remember, defensive coordinator Phil Snow, he's given all kinds of looks, but there was no excuse for Jet Anderson on that one. Got to drop the hips, but still be able to move laterally after that initial hit. That's that one-on-one pass blocking drill that we do in training camp as running backs against the linebackers.
Flag.
For that very reason right there.
Delay of game, kicking team, 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
Horned Frogs would be punting this one away. From the Baylor 48, Graylin Arnold standing back at his own 10. Calls for the fair catch. So when we come back, Charlie Brewer and the Baylor Bears at 90 yards. They'll have to go.
It's survival of the fittest.
Nine to 6 our score. 7 minutes left in this one. 115th meeting between these two schools, and this game's been decided by 7 points or less 42 times, including 7 ties. Charlie Brewer back to throw. Incomplete and a flag. He was looking at Tyquan Thornton. Keon Stewart was right with him, the freshman.
Yeah, Stewart was right with him and felt that he might have gotten, that Thornton might have gotten a step on him. And gotten some contact a little bit earlier.
There were 2 fouls on the play by the defense. Pass interference, number 2, that penalty's declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 90. 15-yard penalty from the previous stop. Automatic out.
That's on Ross Blacklock.
See Blacklock, middle of the defense there. Gets a little twist and gets that hand right up to the face. That's a really dangerous play right there.
TCU with 9 penalties, 100 yards. Baylor just 430. Here's Brewer rolling. Under pressure, sack. Oh, Sean Mathis. And Brewer's down. And had to be helped up. And you can see Brandon Cruz just asked him, are you all right?
And there's been some shuffling along this offensive line, and this is, keep an eye on Newman there. He's got to get a bigger piece of Mathis right there. Protect your quarterback.
2nd and 20. 5 seconds on the play clock. Brewer, the throw over the middle. Thornton, and he gets thumped. Trayvon Merrick.
This place is feeling it right now. Feels like a rivalry game for sure. Pick it up. Everybody's pumped up. Tough call right here. 3rd and forever.
TCU has won this rivalry game the last 4 meetings. They've lost 6 of their last 8 games against ranked opponents. Here's Brewer. Steps up. Throws. It's complete. Wow. First down. What a catch by Josh Fleeks, the sophomore out of Dallas.
What a move. In the backfield, though, by Charlie Brewer. Watch how he steps up and evades Colt Ellison. Eyes in the back of his head on that one. Keeps his eyes downfield.
Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Casey Phillips. Brewer had a lot of time. Moved. So now 3rd and 25. See Coach Patterson telling this secondary to back up.
And this is almost like a Hail Mary defense. You got all of these defenders off. This is normally a defense that's playing man coverage, tight man coverage.
And
press.
another flag. And this is Baylor's going backwards.
Ball start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
3rd penalty now on Casey Phillips. This was a Baylor squad that just a minute ago had just 4 penalties. Now all of a sudden they've racked them up, about 7 of them.
Well, and you think line of scrimmage was initially the 25-yard line to be backed all the way up to your 5 right now. At this time of the game and what that can mean for field position, enormous.
Too high over the middle. 5 minutes left in this football game.
Now you've got a punt from the back of your end zone. And you've got the dangerous Jalen Rager back as a punt returner. Not ideal. And I'm guessing Gary's going to be bringing the house. He might be setting up the return. He's probably setting up the return. They're not going to go for the block here.
Rager 2nd in FBS and punt return average. 18.4. Power. Punting from the back of his end zone. They went for it. Here's Rager. Fair catch at the Baylor 45. 41-yard punt. If the Bears somehow pull this one out, it gets tougher. Oklahoma next week. Texas the week after that, and then they end the regular season against the Mad Hatter. And Kansas, that's the road ahead. Sponsored by Coors Light, made to chill, celebrate responsibly.
Kansas not that easy out that people envision them to be this season. Of course, able to get the win against Texas Tech a couple weeks ago when we weren't part of the broadcast, but what a way they won that game at the end.
Both teams with 3 timeouts. They give it to Darius Anderson, and the Jet finds about 5 yards.
Jet just steps right underneath Arnold on that one towards the end of the run. Nice job with his vision in the hole. He's slippery. He's got some great acceleration, but a great feel, which is what you need to develop. Can't always see where guys are going to be coming from. Just kind of have to feel the flow of the defense as a whole.
Horned Frog trying to bleed this clock. Anderson again, this time the left side. Give him a yard. Olonilua is going to come in, give Anderson a rest. Horned Frogs will be looking at 3rd and 4. 4 minutes now left in this game. Baylor trying to remain unbeaten. College football playoff rankings came out. Baylor Bears 12th.
See him bleeding some clock here. Heavier personnel.
Duggan under pressure, throws incomplete. Valiance Hunt was the intended receiver. Graylin Arnold in coverage.
And you're going to see Lynch, a good step to the inside, get some penetration. Duggan just a little bit too wide on that throw. And of course, don't forget, with a dislocated finger, maybe not the most important finger for a quarterback in holding and releasing the football, the middle finger, but certainly not inconsequential. And they said throughout the course of the week that most of his passes were solid, but every now and then a little bit of flutter one way or the other.
This punt. What is Graylin Arnold doing? What is he doing? What is he doing?
Well, conference coming here from the refs.
It's almost as if Graylin Arnold thought maybe a TCU player had touched it, but for him to even go near that football.
Ruling on the field is changed from the initial signal. The kicking team was first to touch the ball. The receiving team touched it. However, by rule, the ball belongs to the receiving team at the spot where the kicking team touched it. It's first down Baylor.
So there you go. Let's bring in our rules expert, Dean Blandino. And Dean, you're looking like, what are you doing, Graylin Arnold? But obviously he was saying, hey, look, TCU touched that football.
He knows the rule. Look, the kicking team can't be the first to touch. Once they touch it, the return team can pick it up. And even if they fumble it, muff it, you'll always have the option to go back to the spot of the first touch unless there's an accepted penalty during the down, which there wasn't.
Like a free down for a quarterback if it's offsides on that one. Take a chance.
So here we go. 1st and 10 for Baylor. From their own 12. Brewer takes off. Charlie Brewer, plenty of room. Brewer out of bounds. Garrett Wallow forces him out. 26-yard pickup by Charlie Brewer, the longest play of the day for Baylor.
A great job here, seeing everything covered up downfield. It looked like that one was a called run. Couple steps back, goes right up the middle. And remember, 5 times in his Baylor career, Charlie Brewer has led fourth quarter game-winning touchdown drives for Baylor 2 times this year.
That one in and out of the hands of Denzel Mims. Jeff Gladney right there with him. You're right about that. Charlie Brewer, put on your Superman cape. As a starter, he's led Baylor on 5 game-winning drives, Robert Smith, here in the fourth quarter. 2 of them have come this season against Iowa State, and he's done it against Oklahoma State. Let's see if he can do it against the rival TCU. Under 3 minutes. 2nd and 10. From their own 37. Brewer's going to take off again. And brought down at the 41 by Ben Wilson. 3-yard pickup. 3rd down coming for Baylor.
Wilson sitting back that time as a spy. Sitting back pretty far. They're kind of conceding that first couple of yards. They want to make sure that Charlie Brewer doesn't do what he did previously and get a 30-40 yarder on that one.
Chris Platt in motion. Brewer throwing complete right at the midfield stripe. Jared Atkinson, the junior out of Mesquite.
Everybody locked up in man coverage. Nice job with a stick to the outside by Atkinson on that route. Gets the defender to turn his shoulders. Nice delivery by Charlie Brewer.
2 minutes left in this game. Baylor trying to remain unbeaten. Brewer steps up and throws to the outside. The Fleeks steps out of bounds. 9-yard pickup by the sophomore. I'm going to give you a fun fact here, Robert Smith. Josh Fleeks, his father, Carlos, was my tailback at Hampton University.
Really?
How about that?
Wow. Man, we're both old.
You and Lyon. Hasty. Upended. Right at the first down marker. Our Darius Washington makes the stop. First down for Baylor. Minute 30 coming. Bears have got 3 timeouts. Brewer going for it. Down the sideline. Incomplete. And a flag.
Well, you had Gladney beat on that one.
Tyquan Thornton.
Pass interference. Defense, number 12, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
You can see him matched up on the outside here with Thornton, who gets a good move to the inside, and Gladney could have gotten called for the hold much earlier in the route there. He knew he was beat on that one.
Thornton has been their big play receiver. In fact, he's been averaging 99 yards receiving the last 5 games. He's got just 19 today. Brewer keeps it. Cuts back in the middle. Brought down at about the 21-yard line.
I thought he would have stayed to the outside on that one. Looked like he had room, but he decided to cut that one back up.
These are the games Baylor would lose in the past, but have pulled out this season, whether it's Texas Tech. They've all been close, and they've somehow found a way. They've got under a minute to see if they can do it here. Maybe a false start.
Yeah, that's going to be a false start on that one. And waiting on the call here.
False start. Offense number 52. 5-yard penalty. Baylor will use a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. It'll be second down.
That's on Sam Tecklenburg. Listen, they've pulled out a number of close wins. Talking about Baylor, to be 8-0 against Iowa State. Mayer, first career field goal. That was with under 21 seconds left to give Baylor a 2-point win. Double overtime against Texas Tech. Hasty punched in the game-winning touchdown. And then last week against West Virginia, they blocked a field goal. Bravion Roy did that, and they hold on to a 3-point win over West Virginia.
Well, it's been a great job by Baylor to have themselves in a position to do something like that at the end of the game. But let's not forget, a few hours ago, we were asking when Pro Wells dropped that ball in the end zone if that would come back to haunt TCU. And here we are, a 3-point game. And, of course, Jalen Reagor had a drop in the end zone as well. There were 2 drives right there where TCU only ended up with 3 points. Should have ended up with 7 on both.
Mayer, their field goal kicker's long is 38. He's 2 of 3. Brewer to the outside. Flag. I think we got another false start.
That one's going to be on. That was bizarre. Like the center.
Offense.
Yeah.
The quarterback was moving forward at the snap. His penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, the center just snaps that one as Brewer's moving towards the line of scrimmage, and everybody has to be set for a full second. Of course, you're not supposed to be moving towards the line of scrimmage unless you're going to be motioning out anyway.
Baylor in the last 2 drives, 6 penalties. 47 seconds left. 3rd and 14 from the TCU 29-yard line. Thornton at the top of your screen. And I think we got another false start. I think we got another false start. If I'm not mistaken, on the left side of that line.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty. It's sound. There is no 10-second run off because the clock was not running.
Casey Phillips.
Guilty party again.
That's number 4 on Casey. This one is huge for the Baylor Bears. Only unbeaten team right now in the standings. They've got that matchup with Oklahoma next week, but they're getting all they can handle here from the Horned Frogs, who's trying to fight their way to 500 here in the conference. And looking to become bowl eligible. You can see Mayer warming up. His career long is 38. He is 2 of 3 here today.
He missed that 33-yarder pulling that ball earlier.
And remember, I want to say about a good 8 minutes ago when Baylor had just 4 penalties. Now they've got 8 of them. These flags are pushing them out of field goal range. 47 seconds left. 3rd and 19 for Charlie Brewer and the Bears. Back to pass. Looking. Over the top. He's got a man. Fleeks and overthrew him. TCU just took a big sigh of relief.
Well, football games come down to 2 or 3 plays. Usually you just don't know what those 2 or 3 plays are going to be beforehand. Fleeks breaks open right there, able to get behind the coverage. And, I mean, what do you say? You just got to make that completion. Brewer's just got to make that pass, get it down, give Fleeks a chance.
Coach Rule's going to call a timeout.
This is the 3rd and final charge timeout by Baylor. It's a 30-second timeout.
Man, look at that look of Coach Rule. He knew he had it. They dialed up the perfect play.
And remember, Nook Bradford had been in there because Bales was injured and Van Zant was in there. Fleeks was able to get behind him on that play. So you're really talking about the 3rd string safety. Baylor knew who to go after on that one.
So Baylor have sent out Noah Rauschenberg, the freshman out of Tulsa, for this field goal attempt.
And you'll have a kicker like that. And this is a guy they said was blasting balls into the end zone on kickoffs, and he was just back. He had been out. And sometimes you'll have a guy that's going to specialize in those longer kicks. Watch the trajectory on a kick like this. It's a little bit longer. Does he elevate it enough to get it over a block?
Just his 2nd attempt. Now they bring out John Mayer. So they put Mayer out here from 51. Got it.
John Mayers has just re-earned the right to have those beautiful pork chops on his face, converting on this kick right here after the earlier pull and miss. 51 yards out, just gets it over the crossbar. Oh yeah,
he knew it was good. A Coach Rule, yes. Coach Patterson,
gotta love it. We got to see a shot of the pork chops on the sideline. We might just call them goalposts, I guess. Upside down goalposts on his face.
So in 36 seconds, we're back at where we began. All tied up. Mayer's previous career long was 38. Rauschenberg comes back in now. He'll kick things away here. Olonilua and Barlow back deep for TCU. Well, let's see what Max Duggan can do. The freshman out of Iowa.
You're not going to give me a show me how to Duggan?
No, not yet, until you make a big play. You make a big play.
You got to earn it, huh?
Yeah, you make a big play. That's when you throw that out.
3 timeouts. So, a couple shots. Try and do something underneath. Safety's backing out.
Olonilua.
Kerry Patterson. May not be taking any chances on this one.
Well, their last
run this thing down.
Yeah, last 5 possessions is 4 punts and an interception. So I'm sure Coach Patterson says, hey, let's play some bonus football.
Believes in himself to make the right calls defensively in overtime.
So we will go to overtime here in Fort Worth. Thanks to John Mayers, the redshirt freshman out of Flower Mound. From 51 yards out, he's money. We're all tied up at 9 going into OT. Overtime is sponsored by TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Let's go down to the field. Brandon Cruz for the coin toss.
Okay, gentlemen, go to overtime. Baylor will call the toss again. Their option will be offense, defense, or end of the field. Okay, each team in overtime gets 1 timeout. If we get to a 3rd overtime, you have to go for 2 after a touchdown. If we get to a 5th overtime, new rule this year, it's a 2-point shootout. Any questions? Baylor, you'll call the toss. Big 12 Conference logo is heads. Team logo is tails. What's the call?
Let's go heads.
Heads is the call.
Come on, man. Give me 2 times, man.
Tails, TCU, you've won the toss. They want to be on defense. Which end of the field would you like to play? Okay. Switch around. TCU wins the toss, have elected defense. It'll be Baylor's ball, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Well, you heard Brandon Cruz spell them out. Here's the new overtime rules. Each team gets a possession at the 25-yard line. Each team gets 1 timeout. But beginning in the 5th overtime, teams go for just a 2-point conversion tries, all in player safety.
And that game was a 7 overtime game with A&M and LSU last year.
That's John Mayers, all in the 2nd half. As he drilled them, all 3 of them through. None bigger than this one. A career-long 51. To tie this up at 9. So Charlie Brewer, Baylor. They've been here before. They were in this position against Texas Tech. Hasty gets it. A good open field tackle by Ardarius Washington. 3-yard pickup.
Washington doesn't make that tackle right there. Hasty may get that one. Definitely inside the 10, maybe into the end zone. Good tackle.
2nd and 7. Brewer looking to the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking at Tyquan Thornton.
Well, Stewart was in coverage back there, and this is an underthrow by Charlie Brewer. He gets a little bit more on this ball, steps into that a little bit more.
Good play by Ardarius Washington.
Yeah, Washington comes across the front of that one too, but Thornton had his guys beat. Gets that thing out a little bit earlier and a little bit higher. That would have been 6.
Baylor was 4 of 14 on 3rd down in regulation. 3rd and 7. Brewer, the throw. Got a man. Caught. Denzel Mims. It's Mims and Gladney. And we got a flag thrown in the secondary of TCU.
It's that outside leverage that Gary Patterson was talking about. That's that outside positioning where the cornerback, Gladney, is...
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense,
Oh, wow.
number 13. 15-yard penalty will be enforced. Then the change is set by rule. It'll be 1st and 10.
R.J. Sneed, the sophomore.
I didn't see what happened on that one, but Mr. Obvious here, that's an enormous play or penalty for Baylor, and that's really been the story today. So many miscues, and he's lined up here in the slot. I don't know if this is going to be after the play.
Here we go, 1st and 10 from the 25. Brewer lobs it up. Incomplete.
Thornton again lined up against Stewart. And he was breaking to a corner route there. Could have broken free. Stewart was close to getting a defensive holding penalty there. Some sort of interference. They're going after that matchup.
Second and 10. Brewer keeps it. Up the middle. And brought down about the 20-yard line. 3rd down coming again for Baylor.
Go with the quarterback draw on 2nd down. Make it a manageable 3rd down. Think about players, not necessarily plays. You know you're going to have some matchups that you want to go after. We had seen Thornton versus Stewart was the matchup that Brewer has tried a couple of times here in overtime. Let's see where he goes here.
Mims at the top, Thornton at the bottom. Over the middle, and caught. R.J. Sneed redeems himself after that penalty. Makes the catch. And think about this TCU defense after that long drive in regulation. They get the field goal. Now they're right back on the field here. 1st down. Brewer, hasty, up the middle. He's inside the 5. And they're pounding away at the Horned Frogs. 2nd and goal, and they're going with tempo. And it's Brewer keeping it to the outside. Brewer lays the shoulder, dive, touchdown, Bears.
What a tough run by Charlie Brewer. Runs through Merrick on that one. Able to stay vertical long enough just to get that final leap into the end zone.
And Robert, he leads the team now with 7 rushing TDs.
Boy, and they had a chance. A couple of chances to get him there. And that ball's over the goal line clearly when the knee goes down. What a great, tough run by this quarterback.
Here's Charlie Brewer being looked at on the sideline, too. I mean, he lowered the shoulder, then extended to get that touchdown. He paid for it. First touchdown of this game, and it took over 60 minutes for us to get it. Mayer's extra point is good. Baylor on top, 16-9.
Again, that effort by Charlie Brewer comes down maybe onto the right hip or shoulder there. Looked okay there. He just kind of collapses down. Boy, it's hard to tell. I mean, you get your adrenaline up in a game like this and on a score like that, and there are things that you normally would feel that you don't, and sometimes just a little bit gassed. See them kind of talking to him on the sideline.
First lead of the day for Baylor. Hey, 16-9, that was the score of the final of this game last year. Here we are, TCU, first offensive series. Duggan through the air, incomplete. He was looking at Pro Wells.
An absolute laser on that one. A little bit low. And here we are in overtime. Pro Wells had that drop touchdown pass on that first series, and that score would have been the difference in the game.
Olonilua, a pickup of about 5. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Third down coming for TCU, who is 8 of 16, 50%. Sonny Cumbie and his Horned Frogs converted.
Yeah, third down doesn't mean anything right now. You're down 16-9, so you have to go for it regardless.
Here's 3rd and 5. Rager with just 1 catch thus far. Duggan, plenty of time. Flushed. And brought down. Blake Lynch. Open field tackle. 4th down in the game. Coming for TCU.
Baylor does a nice job compressing that pocket. See Roy in the middle up there. Blake Lynch, nice tackle to the outside. Of course, they are able to flush Duggan out to his left. So a very tough throw for a right-handed quarterback to try and locate something downfield, get those shoulders turned to make a good throw. Nice job by the Baylor D.
Keep in mind, this Baylor defense is rested. TCU, their defense was on a long time. Duggan to the end zone. Got a man. Thrown
out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
He didn't control it to the ground anyway.
Surveillance Hunt. And Baylor has come into Fort Worth and beaten TCU. Let's see if they'll take another look at this one.
Ruling on the field is the receiver was out of bounds when he controlled the football. It's an incomplete pass. Play is under review.
That elbow gets down. That's going to be close. Ball does get kicked out at the end.
Surveillance Hunt, the junior out of Jacksonville. Let's bring in our rules expert, Dean Blandino. Okay, Dino, they're going to take a look at this. What do you see?
You know, the more and more I look at it, I like this as a catch. He's got the right hand and elbow inbounds, and then he's got it in the left hand. And watch it right here. When he hits the ground, he holds on to it. And then it looks like it almost gets kicked out at the end right here.
Right.
Watch it.
Yeah.
I think that's a catch.
So if they consider that a second act, this is a catch.
Well, Brandon Cruz and his officials are taking a look at that. You're right. That right hand right there.
And the key is, you know, the right hand.
That puts him in bounds.
Down before the right leg lands out of bounds. Control the ball there to the ground, and then the ball gets kicked out afterwards.
So again, the call on the field was out of bounds. That was the call on the field, out of bounds, right, Dean? So they'll have to overturn that call.
So the hand is in, and he has control on the ground. Catch, right, Dean?
Correct. I've got a catch. And again, going back to the point, they did rule it incomplete on the field, so it has to be obvious. But to me, this is obvious. He's got the hand down, that puts him in, and he maintains control when he lands, and then the defender actually kicks it out late. That, to me, is the second act, and we've got a catch for a touchdown.
And, of course, Baylor involved with a controversial call a few weeks ago against Texas Tech with the called illegal snap. It should have been a fumble recovered by Texas Tech. What an athletic.
And keep in mind, all this on 4th and 9. Here's Brandon Cruz with the call.
After reviewing the play, the receiver controls the ball while airborne. He gets a hand down in bounds. The receiver survives contact with the ground. He flipped the ball. It is a touchdown.
What a play. And now that extra point is crucial. As we take another look, as Tavalius Hunt gets that right hand in.
And what a job controlling the ball to the ground, though. The body control, the field awareness, just tremendous by height there.
Baylor blocked the kick to save a win against West Virginia, but not on this one. And we play on to another overtime. First career TD for Hunt. And what moment to get it than in overtime on 4th and 9. 16 all here in Fort Worth. Tied up at 16. For those of you looking for Illinois, Michigan State, we'll get you there at the conclusion of our game. In the meantime, it's streaming live on the Fox Sports app and on the Fox Business Network. Second overtime. TCU with the rock. Anderson, right side, the jet. Brought down by Jameson Hunt, Houston.
Nice run by Anderson on that one. Rager's got to get involved in that play. Get a block on the outside on that one. That might have been 6.
2nd and 2. The jet again, cuts back. Brought down at the 6.
Nice hole up the middle, but look at the little move that Anderson puts on Woods. Be your own blocker at that level. Gonna be people free. Nice job by Anderson, though. Good little lateral movement. What a great run down here near the goal line. Got 3 receivers to the right. A lot of real estate open up to the left-hand side of this formation.
And Duggan keeps it. And he is smashed. That one's got to hurt. That one's got to hurt.
His shoe just came off on that one. Boy, got 3 big bodies hitting you at once on this one. You know, hits the ground hard, but just like his counterpart on the other side of the ball, other sideline, Brewer, Duggan's a tough one.
Hunt. Jalen Rager, top of your screen. Duggan keeps it. And brought down at the 2. Both the Lynches, Blake and James, make the stop. Third down.
Couple of runs by Darius Anderson, quarterback run a couple of times. You go play action now.
You can see Duggan was shaking that finger. Keep in mind, he dislocated that right finger. Got the tape on it last week. Third and goal. Olonilua puts his head down. Bulls in. Horned Frog, touchdown.
Just power right there by Olonilua. Encounters some defenders a couple yards away from the goal line. That's when you get those extra squats in. A few more hang cleans. Get that leg strength. Build up that drive. Carry a couple of them with you into the end zone.
5 plays, all runs by TCU. Extra points good. They're up now, 23-16.
He's going to be coming right at you. See Woods got too high on him right there. Bernard was in on that one as well. You have got to go after a player like that lower to have any chance of stopping those legs from going. You try and tackle him waist up, you're going to end up on your back or getting carried.
Baylor trying to remain unbeaten. Came into the day just one of 7 programs unbeaten. TCU trying to remain unbeaten at home in conference play. Here's the handoff to John Lovett. Lovett brought down at the 19, given 5.
Well, we talked about the body blows earlier. You have those over the course of a game like this. Run, 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 run. Defensive lineman defending the run. Getting a little bit gassed. Getting to overtime. And starting to gash with the run.
Love it again. And wrapped up by those Horned Frogs. Corey Bethley. Garrett Wallow. Third down coming for Baylor. David Carter Stadium is loud.
Yes, it is. They're feeling it. They're really excited here. Big-time rivalry. And with the way this season has gone for TCU, some games that they certainly could have ended up winning, even being 4-4, false start.
That crowd.
Before the players move, Baylor called the timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout, and this is their only timeout of the overtime period.
Wow, that was a very well-timed timeout call right there.
So you look at this Baylor squad here. We talk strategy. 3rd down and 6. What are you looking at? Do you take a shot at the end zone? What are we doing here? Going to the outside, something to the outside, or what?
Well, again, it is third down, and you need a touchdown to extend the game. So you don't need a 3rd and 11 conversion here. I think you have a couple of layers. You have some sort of route that may take you beyond 10, but then you have something underneath that's an option as well, and try and attack multiple layers since you do not need to get the full 11 yards.
Thornton at the bottom of your screen. That was blocked at the line of scrimmage, tipped. I think it might have been Ardarius Washington. So for Baylor's unbeaten season thus far, it comes down to this. 4th and 6. TCU converted on a 4th and 9. Brewer. Throw over the middle. Caught. Mims. Touchdown. Sick 'em Bears. 21-yard strike.
What a job by Brewer. What a catch by Mims. You're going to see Brewer just get blasted on this one after throwing that ball, but stood in there like a champ, fearless, in the pocket, and delivering a strike to Mims. And great, strong hands from Mims. 6'3", 215-pound receiver. Just snags that one, takes it in the end zone. Now we got 2-point plays coming automatically here in the 3rd overtime. Denzel Mims ties it up.
Coach Patterson, he can't believe it. We're all tied up here at Fort Worth. 23 all as we go to our 3rd overtime. And keep in mind, in this one, you got to go for 2 here. This is what's happened thus far. Charlie Brewer.
Nice job extended on that one.
No better catch than that one by Tadelius Hunt.
Unbelievable job. So much excitement here on that call being reversed.
This is in the 2nd overtime. Olonilua. And then Mims from 21 yards out. And now Baylor, you're up. 3rd overtime.
First time since 2010, no touchdown scored in a Big 12 regulation. We've had 4 now in overtime.
That's something.
Big 12 ain't having it.
Brewer looking up top, then comes back to the bottom to Platt. And Platt makes the grab. Chris Platt makes the catch. I think this kid's been there since, what, 7 years now, Chris Platt?
Boy, a dangerous throw right here. So late, though. And remember, look who's in coverage. Number 24, Nook Bradford. And Bradford's in there because
McKendrick
Bales is out and Van Zant is out with an injury. So it's a matchup that Baylor likes.
They throw the fade and caught. Denzel Mims.
Normally you would have had Jeff Gladney in coverage, but it was Keon Stewart this time in the coverage. Have to go for 2. Only 5'11", 160 pounds. And really, Mims got up a little early on that one. Jumped a little early, but still able to haul that pass in.
So in the 3rd overtime, you've got to go for 2.
Got Gladney matched up on him now. And he's been matched up on him most of the day today. Not sure why he wasn't on Mims that time.
Hasty in motion. He got the rock. No, it's a fake. And thrown. Incomplete to Mims. That was a great fake to Hasty, who came in motion.
It's a great fake, and Just wasn't able to get a whole lot on that throw. Mims got his hands on it. Gladney did a nice job fighting until the end of the play. You see he's throwing back across his body with Bethley in his face. Mims, I think it was really just contact with the ground that probably knocked that ball out. Such a great receiver, still had an opportunity fully extended like that with a throw that wasn't perfect to make the two-point conversion.
Here comes Max Duggan. From the pistol, the jet behind him. The reverse, Rager. He's got it. Rager up the middle. And brought down at the 19.
Didn't fool a lot of Baylor Bears on the front side of that play. Carter Ware, fullback, tight end type player lined up. They could see with the direction he was going that that's where the reverse was going to end up going. Just kind of reading their keys and tried to cut that one back. Pretty good job defensively all around by Baylor.
Handoff. Maybe a yard for Anderson. Lynch, Black both make the stop.
And penetration immediately at the snap from Bravion Roy. People talk about his size and how difficult he is to move off of his point. His acceleration is so good. Really can be disruptive into the backfield.
Third down. Olonilua has now checked into the backfield. Low snap, Duggan controls it, steps up, nearly sacked, keeps it. Inside the 10, breaks the tackle, tiptoes, dives for the end zone. Oh, teach me how to Duggan.
I think he stepped out on that one. We'll have to take a look. It's going to be close. Whatever it was, he did a great job escaping from James Lynch on that one. But I think he stepped out of bounds. We're going to take a look at it.
Scored a touchdown. Is under review.
I mean, I don't know that that's
close.
That is close. I mean,
that is close.
I believe he was called inbounds on the field, so I don't know that that's clear and convincing that he's out of bounds. There are probably other views, though.
That is one heck of a run by the freshman, Max Duggan.
But just amazing there that he gets the little tightrope. But that one right there, I think he was out. It's that second step that it looks pretty clear that the foot's out. It's going to be close. Oh, there's a view down. That one's better. The one on the one showing in the stadium is better than the one that we had because it's down the line. This one more offset. I mean, it looks like there's no space between his foot and the white from that angle. This angle here is going to show it.
Let's bring in our rules expert, Dean Blandino. I tell you what, that's some fancy footwork, Dean. What do you see?
This is really close. It's a tough angle. You've got a right foot right at the 6-yard line that looks like it could be out, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
And then there's another step at about the 3.5. It's so close. What you're looking for is there any green between the foot and the sideline? I don't see that, but I don't know if we have the right angle right down the line. You can see that line judge looking at it. It's really close. Personally, I don't see enough to overturn.
Yeah, the call on the field is touchdown.
The call on the field is touchdown, and what's interesting about this is that the heel is up off of the ground, and so it obscures the view of the area where the foot is in contact with the ground and the sideline. So you can't say that is definitely out of bounds because his heel's not out of bounds. We can't see the front of the foot because of the camera angle and his heel being off of the ground. This is just great. But hey, clear and obvious is supposed to mean clear and obvious. And if Dean Blandino, the rules expert in LA, having fun out there in L.A. He's sitting out there saying, I don't see anything to overturn it, and there's nothing to overturn it.
Hey,
So,
Dean, when you see these guys
looking at
writing something down, what does
on
that
that
mean?
foot, exactly, and that means they may be changing this. And I'm looking when that foot comes up off the
3.5
ground.
yard line. Ball be placed at that spot. First
That's
and
the
goal.
step.
Go ahead, Dean. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
It was the second step at the 3.5 yard line, and I think that one look, if we show the foot coming off the ground, I think that's what they determined that the foot was actually in the white. It's really close. Is it clear and obvious? That's up to debate, but they felt that the foot was out of bounds there, so we're going to keep going here.
All right. I mean, that's the problem then to me. If you reverse a call, if clear and obvious is up for debate, then it's not clear and obvious. But, you know, I guess I'd have to see that view with the foot coming off the ground.
First and goal. Olonilua in the backfield. He gets the carry and stopped as soon as he got it. Blake Lynch wrapped those legs up.
Boy, Lynch does a great job coming off of the edge of this defense, just slicing down that acceleration, the versatility from Lynch. Remember, started at 5 different positions, some on the offensive side of the ball as well. He's a versatile player, and you can see that burst, that acceleration allows him to get all the way in from the edge of that defense to make that tackle.
And you see the Horned Frogs have just gone with running the football here so far in overtime. Just 2 passes through the air. Second and goal. Again. And right there is Baylor in a flag.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 99, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's on Bravion Roy.
You see Bravion Roy right over the center here. He's going to come through that great first step that he has, and he just reaches out and not only grabs the face mask, but pulls the face mask and is twisting the head of Olonilua on that one.
So first and goal now for TCU. Olonilua gets the carry. Jordan Williams right there.
All of those Baylor defenders, they've seen it time and time again here. I mean, you have to try this a couple of times, but you also think with the mind that is Sonny Cumbie that you take some sort of shot here, maybe off of play action.
Second and goal. Anderson in the backfield. Rager at the top of your screen. And that's incomplete. He was looking at Rager.
They have Rager on Arnold lined up in the slot rather than just trying to hit a fade on the outside. They bring him from the inside. Duggan just gets a little bit too much air on that ball. He's trying to get to a point on that play. The quarterbacks work on that all week long, dropping it into a certain area. I think Duggan just missed the area on that one.
The handoff. Anderson, what a hit and a flag. Henry Black with the lick, but we got a hold on TCU.
Might be Bolasami on the outside here.
Now, big decision. Do you decline this and have 4th down, or do you push him back 10?
I would make them go to 4th down. I'd make them go to 4th down. I don't want to give them 2 shots at the end zone. Cut it in half.
Offense number 62. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's 3rd down.
All right, he's going to push him back 10.
He's going to do it.
Matt Rule says push him back.
Bolasami here on the outside. You can see Lynch just starts to get away from him, and he tugs on that jersey.
So 3rd down.
See, I don't like backing it up in this situation because you have to cover so much more ground vertically, or defend so much more ground vertically. This gives you more versatility on the types of routes.
The only timeout of this overtime period.
The types of routes that you can call, particularly because you have 2 shots at the end zone. It's not 4th down.
Coach Rule wants to talk about it. 3rd and goal coming for the Horned Frogs.
This is the type of situation because, again, you are backed up. You've got more space over the top of you where defenders may break on routes that look like they're coming underneath, and it opens up the opportunity for the good old sluggo, a slant and go, because you do have that opportunity. If you miss on something like that, you still got another down, but the defender is going to try and break on it, and you get an opportunity over the top, maybe with a free shot.
So 3rd and goal. Empty set for Duggan. They go 5 wide. Flushed and tripped up. James Lynch made the play.
Right, Lynch has been Mr. Everything all year long. You think about
a swipe.
You think about a big defensive lineman chasing down a QB. Lynch, all of 295 pounds, chasing down a 190-pound quarterback in the 3rd overtime of this game. How many snaps he's had. What an effort by James Lynch.
Timeout, TCU.
And TCU is going to call their timeout. So, let's go back to strategy. If you're Sonny Cumbie, what matchup do you like? I know you got Jalen Reagor. Tre'Valius Hunt has made a great catch for you. Is there a specific matchup you like, whether it's Pro Wells, Reagor? What do you like?
Yeah, and Pro Wells, I mean, I know that he's had some drops, but because of his size, he's a guy that you think about. Barber, who had the big game against Texas, and maybe even back out of the backfield if you go with Anderson in the game. He's got Olonilua in there.
Keep in mind, TCU had 1st and goal at the 1. They've scored a TD here in overtime on 4th down. This is the game. Baylor's trying to remain unbeaten. Go 9-0. Reagor at the bottom of your screen. Pro Wells is in the slot. The game. Duggan. Throw to the end zone. Incomplete. Baylor remains unbeaten. They come into Fort Worth and get the win. Matt Rule told us, this team, we wear people down, we're older, we're smarter, and thus the reason why we're unbeaten. And what a win for Baylor. What a football game.
What a football game for Baylor. And, you know, you go back to that first quarter, and TCU had some opportunities, a couple drop passes in the end zone early in the game, but Baylor made the plays once again when they needed to make the plays, and you can't question that.
And Matt Rule, just as cool as the other side of the pillow. As an interception to cap it for Baylor, who are now 9-0 and the only unbeaten team in the Big 12, and they remain unbeaten. What a football game in their 115th meeting. Time for the smoking player of the game. It's sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? How about Denzel Mims? He came up with some huge catches, none bigger than this one. It was the difference. 6 catches, 58 yards, 2 touchdowns, both of them in overtime. And the difference in this football game as Baylor remains unbeaten. They have started the season now 9-0. Last time that happened, 2013 for the Baylor Bears. Well, for Robert Smith, I'm Brian Custer. The final score, 29-23. Baylor wins it in 3 overtimes. We got to get you out to East Lansing, Illinois, and Michigan State. Thanks for watching.